What are some tips and tricks I can use to optimize my child's vision? As an eye doctor and father of 4, I want nothing more than my children and my patients to have the best possible vision they can. So here are 2 things I've come across that I think will give your children better vision, and I'm using them with my own kids. Now, you may not know this, but 80% of learning is visual. So if your children aren't seeing as clearly as they possibly can, they're not going to learn at the optimal level. And that's the last thing that you or I want. So let me give you an analogy. Have you ever went to a website and it takes more than like 5 milliseconds to load and you're instantly angry because you're not getting the information you want? That's kind of how your brain works when you're not seeing as clearly as you possibly can. It's not getting the information it needs to be processed and help you learn. Well, if this happens day after day in class, your student, your child is going to fall behind, they're going to get frustrated, and they're not going to learn the way they should. Now, there's 2 huge factors that are causing this lack of optimal vision to happen. Number 1, time spent outside, and number 2, an increased demand of focusing, looking at things up close. So tip number 1, get your kids outside. Do you know that we mandate that prisoners spend at least 2 hours a day outside? Our kids, we're lucky to get that. So who in this situation is actually locked up and caged? There's been numerous studies done that show that exposure to sunlight stops the pathway that causes your eyes to grow. As your eyes grow, the prescription gets higher, you can't see as well as you possibly could. So there was a study done in Singapore and Australia. They looked at students for a 2 to 3 year period. They were all the same age, and Singapore had a 30% higher increase of prescription versus Australia. The number 1 difference was the times in the sun. Believe it or not, something as simple as sun exposure can stop your eyes from lengthening. Now, the difference was only 61 minutes in Singapore to an average of 106 minutes in Australia. That's under 2 hours a day. So we need to get our kids outside, and that can help optimize their vision. Additionally, this is why we see seasonal variations when prescriptions start to really get out of hand. In Michigan, it's summer for about 3 months where we get sunlight. Then it's dark and gloomy. Well, we tend to see a higher shift of prescriptions in those winter months. So as much as you can, get your kids outside. And I get it, they want to read, they want to color, that's fine. Do it outside and you're better off than staying inside and not getting that sun exposure. Tip number 2, the 20-20-20 rule. For every 20 minutes, take 20 seconds and look 20 feet away and blink your eyes. When we are on phones, screens, or computers, we stare. Our blink rate is cut in half and we are just looking up close. This is not great for eyes for 2 reasons. 1, they dry out, but 2, that constant stimulus of looking up close causes the prescription to increase. Now, this affects kids and adults. Let me know in the comments below if you experience eye strain from looking at computers all day. Now realize, we're not going to eliminate near activities from our children's lives. They're going to be on phones, screens, computers, but there are things we can do to help slow that progression. Do these little things and you can help your children maximize their vision. Now, if you liked this video and you found it helpful, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.